Of course, the people didn't want to move it because it cost too much, so we ended up taking it. I mean, it just fades right in. It's like a railroad something. I said, went up the hill and what's that? Can I have your attention, please? We'll be starting up shortly. Welcome to the Lowell Planning Board for March 17th, 2025, and happy St. Patrick's Day to all. The first matter on the agenda is the approval of the March 3rd, 2025 minutes. Anybody have any corrections or comments about the minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the March 5th minutes as presented.
March 3rd, yeah.
March 3rd, but it says March 5th, so we're going to correct that. We're going to amend the minutes to say March 3rd.
Right.
And with that amendment, then I'd make a motion to approve.
Okay. Motion is made. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Chair votes yes, the minutes are approved. Okay, next matter on the agenda is a public business, is a public shade tree hearings for 80 Woodward Ave, 803 Middlesex Street, 406 West 6th Street, and 413 Fletcher Street. In accordance with Mass General Laws, Chapter 87.5 and Chapter 260 of the Lowell Code of Ordinance, the Lowell Planning Board will hold a public hearing to hear all interested persons about the proposed removal of 8 trees at the Woodward Ave, 20 trees at 803 Middlesex Street, 17 trees at 406 West 6th Street, and 1 tree at 413 Fletcher Street. The removal of these trees is necessary for planned renovations of the park. So, let me just move here. The notes that I wanted to look at. So those addresses are basically Father McGuire Park, Clementi Park, St. Louis Park, and North Common tree removal. Do we have anybody here on behalf of, for the tree hearing?
Hi, my name is Jess Wilson. I'm here tonight with my colleague Brianna Martinez. We're both design planners for the City of Lowell Department of Planning and Development. I have been managing the Clemente Park and St. Louis Park projects, and Brianna is managing Father McGuire and North Common. These 4 projects are among 8 projects that we are doing throughout the city with the American Rescue Plan Act funding that City Council allocated for park improvements. So the St. Louis Sponge Park Phase 1 project, that's at 406 West 6th Street in the Centerville neighborhood. We are requesting a permit to remove 17 trees of various species and sizes located within the park. The removal of these trees is necessary for the planned park renovation, which is scheduled for construction beginning this spring. The project is going to upgrade the 3 existing basketball courts and treat them with a high albedo seal coat to help offset urban heat island effect in the park. And the existing playground will be replaced with a universally accessible playground, splash pad, and picnic plaza. To remediate the loss of these trees, the planting plan calls for 47 new trees of different species in alignment with the city's urban forestry master plan. Some of these trees we anticipate to be provided by the Department of Conservation and Recreation Greening the Gateway Cities program, which provides free trees. and some of them will be provided by the contractor that we have hired to build the project. The Clemente Park Phase 1 project at 803 Middlesex Street in the Lower Highlands neighborhood requires the removal of 20 trees of various species and sizes. The removal of these trees is necessary for the planned park renovation scheduled to begin construction in this May, following the Khmer New Year events planned in the park. The renovated park is going to feature 8 upgraded volleyball courts, 1 upgraded basketball court, a new universally accessible playground, and a large event lawn to better program outdoor programs and festivals. To remediate the loss of these trees, the planting plan calls for 50 new trees of different species, again, some to be provided by DCR and some by the contractor. And Brianna can speak to the other 2 projects.
Yeah, I'm Brianna Martinez. I'm also a design planner. So at North Common, which is 413 Fletcher Street, we'll be removing 1 tree. It's a 22 caliber tree. The plan here is to redo the ball field. We'll update the furnishings, add irrigation, and then add a new plaza. And so the tree here will needs to be removed to allow for grading. And then Father Maguire Park, which is 80 Woodward Ave, will be removing 8 trees of various sizes. And that's to accommodate the pickleball and tennis courts that will be expanding to allow for just safety and use zones.
We received the comments. It looked like there was only a comment from the water department that they would like our contractors to contact them to mark out water lines in advance, which of course we're happy to do. I also understand that the notices may not have been posted on the trees in time, so understand there may be a continuation of these projects. Wanted to recognize that. We thought that DPW was taking care of posting those notices. But yeah, happy to answer any questions about these projects.
Yeah, so I know myself and other board members went out there over the weekend, and none of the trees are marked at all, so, without them being marked, when we go out and look at them, we don't know what trees we're talking about.
Of course.
And the public doesn't know as well. I mean, we just went through a big one up there in Centerville, up by the reservoir, when there was so many of them, they had to go up there and spray paint them for us, remember? But this way, without that notice, and because the public, hearing, the public has a right to know which trees they are, so if they want to come and speak. So unfortunately, without that notice, 1, the board doesn't know what trees we're talking about, and 2, it doesn't satisfy the notice for the hearing. So, like when, at least, the North Common one, it's only 1 tree, but I had a hard time trying to figure out what tree it was after I walked the whole North Common. So, and going through all the sites and walking them all and looking, it was tough. And I know the other board members chimed in this morning with an email saying, did anybody see those signs, or was one of us just missing them? So we did see the nice signs put up from the city saying what they're doing, and it showed how they're finishing the basketball courts and how they're taking care of the tennis courts, and those were very, very nice to see. And we just had a project that we allowed here on Payne Street, when one of the city councils came and spoke about with Birthday Clemente Park being all done over and everything else that was coming before us very recently, and how the city is working on that. So, and we received a lot of favorable comments from the board on actually fixing up these parks. So I think we're in favor of them. It's just I think we need the proper notice.
Of course, we understand. We're happy to work with DPW to make sure that the notices are.
So usually they just put a piece of paper on it and step it on it. And Mr. Bichette and I were just talking a little while ago. Usually they just mark each tree. If you have like a lot of trees, I think, okay, you got 20 on one. What's the other one? 20 on one there. That's not too bad. 17.
Yep.
And then 8. If you can mark each tree, that'd be great. We're saying if we have a big cluster of trees, even like when we have a public hearing for a special permit or a site plan, they have to put that notice on the property. Even if we had like a big plaque with the drawings and all the trees were picked out, it might be an idea. I don't know if the other boards feel that way. You know what I'm saying, Dan? At least if somebody went up, they could look at the clarity of it.
Yeah, there's so many trees that are all together.
Yeah.
On a lot of the different lots, they really marked, I think.
Yeah.
Even if we had a plan, and we had plans.
Yeah.
And I couldn't figure out
Yeah.
what was what.
Yeah. So unfortunately, they're going to have to be marked one way or another so we can properly proceed to go forward with the meeting. I don't know how long it'll take you to mark those, because we meet,
We'll be sure to make sure that they're posted in enough advance of the next planning board hearing.
yeah, so we will be, today's the 17th.
April 7th.
No, yeah, so April 7th would be our next meeting, so that gives you 3 weeks. Would that be sufficient time?
Yes, I believe we need 1 week's notice to post
Yeah.
those, so that
The
should
other-
be enough.
Right.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay, so what we'll do is, we'll make one motion to continue all 4 of the tree hearings.
Mr. Chairman, can I
Sure,
just ask
Mr.
a
Vichit,
question?
Absolutely.
Unrelated to the trees, but just on Father Maguire Park, I saw they looking at putting pickleball courts. And I do know there's been a lot of concern about the noise of pickleball courts. And I spent a lot of time in the summertime up in Wolfboro, New Hampshire, and they have great facility out there. And it's a distance from where houses are and the public. And you can, oh my God, you can hear the pickleball like really loud. And it's fairly congested around there. So I don't, was there any kind of public input on pickleball courts or?
So pickleball has been one of our top requests for new recreational facilities, and obviously in a city as built out as Lowell, it's challenging to find locations in public parks where we can put those where we have enough flat area or existing tennis courts that we can convert, as this case is. It's just a challenge to kind of distance those from the residential areas. So we're trying to balance the requests that we're getting to have more pickleball courts and kind of keep up with the changing recreational desires of the community. But we do recognize that noise may become an issue as we install
Yeah, I'm
these.
thinking more like where the health camp used to be off of West Meadow Road behind the Wang School, or even Flaggy's, which is, not far from Father Maguire, but I granted you'd have to reconfigure the whole field, right? I mean, this has
Right.
courts, it's just, I'm just, believe me, it's loud.
I understand, yeah.
And it's wonderful to play, but it's another thing to be sitting there in your living room with the windows open, listening to that, so I just,
Unless they restrict the hours.
yeah, I mean, it's like motorcycle night on the boulevard. I know a lot of people that love it. They don't live there, though. And they comment how great it is. So anyways, just my 2 cents on that, because I do have some concern about it.
Yeah.
And I do know a lot of people that like pickleball, and as I'm aging, I have a few people that are trying to get me involved in it as well, but
I think we're constantly trying to keep up with the changing recreational desires of the community. If we put this in and it turns out to be something that the community no longer desires after the noise levels are kind of established, we're always open to changing and continually adapting.
Yeah,
our
I would hope that, because I'm also, member of the West Pawtuckaville group, and I would imagine we'll probably hear some comments. So as long as they're open for revisions, if in fact, but I'd hate to see a lot of money spent. I mean, I don't know if there's any special treatment to the courts that have to.
So we are, I think, doing some crack sealing. Do you know what we're doing exactly on the courts at Father Maguire?
So Father Maguire, the tennis courts will be, I believe it's a full reconstruction. There are a couple tennis courts, and so one will be converted into 4 pickleball courts, which is why we're expanding the footprint of those courts.
Yeah.
And that's where like the trees come in. And then there will be some like paint essentially that is more reflective, and so it doesn't absorb heat as much.
My concern is that that I wouldn't want to see the city have to spend a lot of money to have to, if it turns out to be an issue, to turn it back to either tennis courts or,
It's a very easy conversion
It's a
to
very
go
easy
back
conversion,
to tennis
yeah.
courts. We'll, as Brianna said, we'll be fully reconstructing this court, so it'll be a nice smooth surface. It would just be a matter of restriping and changing the net.
I think that should be done with that in mind in case there is some negative feedback. And again, the tax-paying residents that are right there, and when they bought their house there wasn't pickleball that was being played. So anyways, just wanted to comment on that, so.
Thank you.
Okay, so as indicated, I'll make a motion that we continue all 4 of the tree hearings to our next meeting, which is April 7th.
Second, Mr. Chairman.
Second, all in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none, that motion carries. Good luck, I'm sorry about that, but.
That's okay.
hopefully we have-
We're sorry for the
Okay, for
inconvenience.
April
Thank
7th.
you.
Okay? Okay, thank you. Moving along on the agenda, next matter is a special permit, 23-33 Middle Street. The Lowell Planning Board will hold a public hearing to hear all interested persons relative to an application by Reliable Physical Therapy, LLC, to open a physical therapy clinic at the above address in Unit B. The subject property is located in the downtown mixed-use zoning district and the downtown overlay district. The proposal requires special permit approval per section 9.3 and 12.8C to operate a physical therapy clinic in the DMU and the DOD zoning district. May we hear from the applicant, please?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and good evening to all. For the record, my name is John Geary of Geary & Geary LLP, 32 Church Street, Lowell, Mass. I'm here tonight representing the applicant, Reliable Physical Therapy LLC. And with us tonight, we have Prachi Sin Basnet. Prachi is the principal of the LLC and also the physical therapist. Her husband, Sandeep, is also here for moral support. As the chairman mentioned, this application involves a request for a special permit pursuant to sections 9.3 and sections 12.8C of the city zoning ordinance. Subject property is located at 2333 Middlesex Street, 23-33 Middle Street, within the downtown mixed-use district and the downtown overlay district. The property is a street-level commercial suite that is part of the building that is known as the Moeller's Loft building. That building consists of 24 residential units and 2 commercial units. This particular unit is identified as Unit B, and if you look facing the building, it's the commercial unit to the left, or to the left of the center entrance to the building. The applicant focused its clinic location on the city of Lowell because of the city's diverse, vibrant, and growing community, particularly in the downtown area. Within my application materials, I included a narrative that Prachi had prepared. That narrative demonstrates, in my view, Prachi's ability, both from a healthcare perspective and from a business acumen perspective, to run a successful physical therapy clinic at this site. My narrative also goes into good detail as to how this application meets the criteria associated with Section 9.3 of the ordinance. But I would suggest that 2 of the criteria are more applicable than the others. And the first is, how does the application adhere to, apply, and promote the goals of the City of Lowell Forward Plan? So I would suggest that the opening of this professional physical therapy clinic at this location on Middle Street increases the broad range of commercial uses within the downtown district. It serves to activate a street-level commercial suite that has been vacant, and it will also, by opening the clinic in this site downtown, it will support the ever-growing downtown resident base and the community at large, I would suggest. The second is, how does the application protect and enhance the character of the existing neighborhood? So again, considering that this is a street-level commercial suite, the fit-out is going to be done in a professional and tastefully done way. The Moeller's Loft building was rehabbed many years ago, I think somewhere around 2003. That brought that building back to its historical character. Once this clinic opens up, you'll have a very active first floor presence. The other unit is a very busy hair salon, and this physical therapy clinic will fit well within the character of the downtown, and it will actually be an asset to the downtown. In terms of parking, as I noted in my narrative and as the staff comments noted, there's no parking required in the downtown. And that makes perfect sense considering the sufficient availability of municipal parking in terms of garages and on-street parking within the downtown. In terms of employees and hours of operation, so the clinic will consist of 3 employees. Cratchy is the physical therapist. She'll be working the clinic. There'll be a physical therapist assistant, and there'll be administrative support staff. The hours of operation will be Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Those are the anticipated hours at this point. In terms of the staff comments, all of the comments were supportive. The staff had no issue with the application, and the economic development team encouraged issuance of the special permit. Again, I believe that we meet all the criteria as enumerated in section 9.3, specifically the 2 that I mentioned. And I just referenced the plan here. So we submitted a full set of plans which showed the as-built and the proposed floor plan here, which is on sheet A2 of the plan. So it's a pretty typical physical therapy clinic, if any of you have ever been to one, and unfortunately I've been more times than I'd like to admit. But it's got the reception area, the wide open physical therapy room for work. It's got a specific treatment room. So pretty typical of what you see. The access into the clinic is off the main lobby area. So with that, again, I think that I believe that we meet all the criteria. We would request issuance of the special permit this evening, but we're here to answer any questions or address any concerns that the board may have. Thank you.
Counselor. At this point in time, I'll open the meeting up to the public. Anybody want to speak in favor of this project? Anybody in favor? In favor? Hearing none. Anybody like to speak in opposition? In opposition? In opposition? Hearing none. At this point in time, I'll turn it over to the board members. Any board members have any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I really don't have much to say on this. I think council did a good job articulating the points that were made as it applies to the special permit. I think it's a great addition to the downtown. I appreciate the thought process in selecting the city of Lowell, so welcome and thank you for that. And I think hopefully, I mean, we get people in the Hildreth building as well. I think even people within the downtown area will be able to use the service as well. So I really don't have any questions. I don't have any thoughts, and I don't have any even possible conditions. I think it meets.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. Caleb, any questions, comments?
No question. I think Mr. Frechette pretty much said it out loud. And thanks for sharing your story. I like reading how you come to be and picking this place to open your business, and I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Danny, any questions, comments?
I hate it when I go agree with Jerry. It's happened 2 weeks in a row, and I'm going to put a halt to that next week, I can guarantee you. It doesn't matter what he says, I'm going to disagree with him. Great
I'm not
proposal. You're not here, right?
John said, I was not here next week.
You never know, John. Thank you very much for, as Caleb had mentioned, thank you for picking Lowell. We welcome you. We expect you to do well. All right? Good luck.
Lucia, any questions, comments? Okay. Tal, any questions? No
questions.
Jobison, all set? Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll be a great fit for downtown. I mean, a lot of people downtown who we know don't have cars, transportation to get to physical therapy, and anybody who's been to physical therapy, including myself, a lot of times it's difficult to get to physical therapy.
Yeah.
You know, depending on what your ailment is. So I think it'll be a great fit for downtown. I mean, you know, the more we see more developments down there without the parking, and more people moving down there, I think it'd be a great fit down there. So I
agree. Once the clinic is up and running, and there are more and more residents coming into the downtown all the time, so I think it will have a built-in business clientele there.
I mean, as you know, with the physical therapy, it's one thing people always say, you got to stick with it. You can't give up too soon.
Right.
Because once you do it, that's when you get the setback. You got to, even when you leave, keep doing it. Yeah. And then if not, oh, my arm doesn't go up as far anymore. My leg doesn't stretch as far as it used to. That's because you quit too early. Yeah, so I mean, I think it's a great situation. I have no problem with it at all. So we need a motion for the special permit. I'll make a motion that we approve the special permit.
I second that.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye? All right.
Chair votes yes. Anybody in opposition? Hearing none, so the matter is approved. Good luck, we wish you well.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Moving along, do any of the board members have any further comments?
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I actually, I spoke to, this is actually regarding the Rook Bridge. So I spoke with State Representative Rodney Elliott recently, and he said he had had discussions with officials at Mass DOT regarding the Rook Bridge and the funding, specifically the funding, because we were expressing concern about, with everything that's going on at the federal level, whether there was the funding was in jeopardy. The officials at DOT has assured him that the funds for the Rook Bridge had been secured and that is moving along on schedule. So that, yeah, so that, I thought I would pass that along. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other board members have any comments? If not, we can motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Any opposition? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Good night and thank you, everyone.